Today we're discussing Guarded by the Spider by Cassie Alexander. For my kind, to be without a mate is to be doomed. I know it is too late. All that awaits me is retirement and death. And I've embraced it. But when a suicide mission lands on my old boss's desk, I'm the one he calls. Who better to tackle the mission in the deep, oppressive mines of my old ancestral homeland, if not an Arachne, already slated to die? It's not a rescue mission. He wants me to retrieve the corpse of a billionaire's daughter kidnapped by a terrorist organization. Except our intel was wrong. She's alive, tortured and injured, but alive. And from the moment I sent her, I am certain she's my mate. She cowers in fear when she sees me, yet I will stop at nothing to protect her. And now that I have a reason to live, a whole lot of people are going to die. Hello.
Hello. This is a special.
Mm-hmm.
Should we warn the people? Hey, by the way, we read this like a week and a half ago.
Not relevant.
It might be relevant to how we run the episode today.
Not relevant at all.
Nah, we're just
I've been
like,
sick.
Ariel has been sick. I've just been existing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life happens, bros. And it's an Ariel special day, which is crazy because here we are. She's put it off as long as she possibly could.
Yeah.
Right down to the wire.
You know, we can't all
We love
be
that for her.
this fabulous at procrastinating.
No.
So, might be like that sometimes.
Honestly, listen, life gets busy. We all have things going on. Like, it's all good. It's all good. Oh my God. What are you eating this morning?
Cereal. I don't
What kind
have
of
anything
cereal?
really at my house. It's like a marshmallow cereal. I don't know if you've seen it.
So kind of like a knockoff of Lucky Charms.
Kind of like a healthy version of Lucky Charms, yeah.
I was just gonna say that. My brain supplied the words after.
Mm.
This is my breakfast, which is coffee. So we're here.
Mm.
Hello, welcome.
To Monstrous March. It's still
Yeah.
March. If I sound like
It's
shit,
still March.
if I sound like shit, it is because I am just getting over being sick. I think I sound mostly normal now, but
Mhm.
a little off.
It's okay. We got like a little rasp going, and you know, the people love a good raspy voice.
No. Maybe in men.
No,
I
so
usually want the women
dude,
to
you
sound
would
like
be
men.
actually so fucking surprised the amount of people, women included, who love a woman with like a deeper, raspier voice. Like, I don't know why,
I just
but
speak,
like,
man. This is just my voice now. No, I'm just kidding. It'll go back to normal eventually.
I don't know why it's like a huge thing, but it is. It's crazy.
Makes you sound sickly. Well, I am mostly better. A little sniffly, but anyways. Yeah, we wed. Starting off strong.
We are gathered here today.
Yeah, we read
A marriage. I'm sorry. It's a special. I can do what I want. Also, I'm tired. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we read a book about a spider.
yeah, for Monstrous March. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, and I don't know if it gave me what I wanted, and I don't know what I wanted.
That's hard, especially lately when we've had stuff where like I don't literally know what I want, but I don't think
But
this
this is
is
not
it. Like
it.
it's
Right.
like it's when you have that very specific niche in mind. Like even when
But I
we
don't
hit
even
the
know how
niche
to like,
though,
yeah. No,
It's
no,
it's
and
a,
this isn't, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know what I was
it's just not
looking
hitting
for
what
in a spider
mm,
book, but I don't know if this was quite it.
actual spider. Like I
Yeah.
don't.
No, this guy is like kind of like a centaur, but like of spiders. So he's got like a male human half of his body, and then the bottom is spider legs.
Yeah, I love you, spider legs.
Spider legs. Anyways, the dude's name is Nyanin, and I'm gonna be so for real honest. I'm probably gonna call him Nine, like 90% of the time, because that's
Honestly,
what his
valid.
Minotaur friend calls him. So, and it's really kind of a, they don't prefer that. He doesn't prefer that name, but that's the way most people can pronounce it that are not Arachne. So
Hmm.
I'm not Arachne.
No, as far as I
No.
know, you're not.
Spider legs.
You know, I really don't like spiders.
I'm not the biggest spider person either in like actuality, but this is a
Yeah,
book.
that is true.
It's a book. And Nyanin has spent weeks preparing his home for his death that he feels is impending.
I feel
It's
impending death
kind of
every
like
day.
sucks to suck, bro.
Oh, I feel impending death every day.
Well, he needs to get ready because it's like gonna happen. He's comfortable in his webs when Royce, his boss, when he was working at the Monster Security Agency before he quit to fucking die, knocks on his door, forcing him out of his comfort. Royce explains that basically the richest dude in the world's daughter has been kidnapped, and it's not going well. They think she's probably not even alive since they've stopped receiving proof of life. And Royce wants to send Nine, as he calls him, to retrieve her body because no one else is succeeding in basically a suicide mission. They've already sent teams in, apparently, and it's not going well. And he knows Nine is dying anyways. So, best shot? Send his best man out on a suicide mission, and it's okay because he's dying anyways. Wow, what a presentation. Nine's not happy about this because, he's supposed to die the proper way in his home, surrounded by his webs, nested.
Proper.
Not, he does not want to go out as a hero's death. He don't give no shits about a Viking death. He wants to die in his nest. And I can appreciate that.
I
I
want to die
mean,
in my nest too.
right, right. Royce
Sorry,
says
this
that
is a lot
they're
of death
keeping
chalk
this
girly.
woman inside the Threadstone Mountains, which are Nine's ancestral homeland, which is even more of a reason that like Nine is the best subject for this. Nine has never been there, but that is where his people are from. Royce figures that that would be better than just plain old webs at Nine's house after all. Go back to your ancestral home to die. After lots of consideration and thinking about his situation, and how the whole reason he's dying is from lack of companionship because he has not found his mate. He agrees to help out his friend and also get to see the Threadstone Mountains himself because he's heard a lot about them from his mom. And then, after watching two failed attempts by the teams that the billionaire father had sent in on video, he boards the helicopter ship that will take them. So I got a little confused. Because at first I thought they were traveling to another planet and they were getting in a ship, but then they were in a helicopter, and, I don't really know. And this might have been like a delusional. Okay, public service announcement. I am not responsible for the validity of anything that I'm about to say regarding this book because I was a little sick and delusional for 90% of this. So, this is my sick and delusional take on this book. If it's wrong, here
I
we go.
love a sick and delusional take on a book. So,
I mean, I'm here for it. If someone
Okay,
wants to
okay,
come
so
at me because it's not factual, this is my PSA. I apologize.
and you can't rely on me for fact checking because I don't remember what I did yesterday.
So, yeah, this ship slash helicopter slash whatever, however they're traveling, it's going to take them 20 hours to get there. And they're just
Which
about
is
there.
weird. How can they do that in a
I
helicopter?
I
That
don't
feels like,
know.
I just feel like, wouldn't they have to stop to get gas?
They did. They had to stop and refuel.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like,
But like,
I feel like
was
that is a
it
very ineffective way. Because wouldn't you think that that
they
would take a
very
lot less time?
specifically said that they had to stop and get refuel. But the like both times there and back. But
That's right.
the I just don't were they still on the same planet? Was it a helicopter or was it a helicopter ship? Or like was it I don't know. Was it a spaceship? There's a Minotaur driving. That's all I know. Okay, I'm pretty sure the Minotaur was in the previous book because they had him like specialed
Yeah.
like as if he was like a guest of honor, and we should have known his story. Not in a way that we should have known. They did it
But like
okay,
enough
but
that
as
like, yeah.
yeah, enough that like they were like, oh, let's bring him up again
Hmm.
when it wasn't necessarily when it wasn't necessarily necessary. That. So
Words.
anywho, yeah, the Minotaur is just about to land them when missiles start being launched at the ship slash helicopter. And Nyanin has to parachute down with his webbing a little further out than he wanted to, but it's better than being shot by a missile. And he sets off through the dense forest. He leaves a trail of silk behind him so that he can find his way back if he needs to, if he went the wrong way, because he's just going on instinct. And then he even like finds tiny actual like what we think of as spiders in the forest, and he uses his little spidey language to communicate with them and ask if people have been through and what's the right direction type of situation. And I'm not gonna lie, super cute because they're like, when will I be big like you? And this is like 10% into this book, and we've only had like this point of view and this thing. And so then I'm like, I thought they were supposed to be a woman. Is this actually a romance between spiders? Is this gonna be like one of that like the one we did with the Bigfoot where it's like a whole story and then like just the like last 10% we have like the actual relationship?
Yeah.
I was like, what's gonna go on here? Again, a little delusional, but
I
whatever. He made it to the caves. That's what matters.
Mhm.
And then he allows his scent to find the right entry because all of a sudden he just smells something so good. And for a moment like this, he feels a glimmer of hope that there is an arachne out there that belongs to him. I mean, he had obviously given up on finding her and finding the one that was meant for him. Nine has never, ever met the right fit. He's also not met a lot of arachne, but the ones he's met, not the right fit. And he's just overcome by the scent of his mate. And he follows the scent through the cave system. 2 days of following it as Nyanin dreams of what his arachne mate would be like. You know, she obviously will have the most even legs you ever did see.
9 just hasn't met 11 yet.
Obviously, she will have such an eye-splashing color on her shell. You know, and she obviously must be
Is that what they
smart.
call it, a shell? I'm
You
just
read
th-
this
I'm
book. No,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no. I mean like the outside of a is it really called a shell?
he called it a shell, so that's
I
what
know, but I
matters to
just was like
him.
I know, but like
I know nothing about spiders. I don't actually
I
want to
don't
know that much
either.
about spiders.
I don't either. But I was thinking about that too. I was like, is it a shell? Because a shell just reminds me of like a turtle.
It's like, it's like
I mean, it probably
pacing.
is a shell, and I'm just thinking too hard about it.
I don't know. I don't know. We
Okay.
might have to draw this one. Anywho,
No, we don't want to draw.
she obviously must be smart after surviving in Threadstone because any spider left behind at this place must. be exceptional. He just knows that
Listen, no spider left
all
behind.
his waiting has been worth it because he's going to get the best mate ever.
Yeah.
Best of the Arachne. He's going to have her. And he continues to follow his mate's scent until it begins to mix with another smell. Man sweat.
Gross.
She must require rescuing. And so he goes. And then as the closer he goes, he identifies 7 different male scents. And then
Ruh-roh.
he gets close enough to see and hear them. And then he also sees an empty cage, and he's very upset that his mate could be treated as such. And the men are arguing about her escaping, and they're looking through this narrow gap in the rock, and Nine is horrified. If his mate is actually that thin, what have they done to her? But then he hears a cry, and he takes off, knowing who it is. And he races, tearing through the caves, following her scent and sound. And then he sees a woman, a
Oh my
human.
God.
The one who
Ugh.
looks like Sloane, the daughter that he's
Gross.
looking for.
Yeah.
But he can't see his arachnia anywhere. And then he realizes the scent is Sloane. And she is on the ground, her ankle twisted, her leg bent. She must have passed out. He tries to talk to her, but she doesn't wake. And he grabs her leg and snaps it back in place and binds her leg up with his little webbing and picks her up. And he takes her off to, get away from the men. And he's just so confused. How is this possible? Many hours later, he finds an open cave at the edge of a cliff that has a pool of water. And he sets her down and changes her web bandages and tries to figure out how he's going to help her. And personally, if he's at like the facing of a cliff and he's got this opening and he's got all this webbing that he's using, why doesn't he just like down the
Spider-Man
edge of
his
it?
way down.
Yeah.
Well,
This could have been
Ariel.
over a lot faster. I'm just saying.
Well, Ariel.
At least the rescue portion.
Logic.
Anywho, he uses the batteries in his translator to make a fire. And he makes soup out of his rations to slowly trickle into her mouth. And he takes off her wet, soppy, dirty top. And he leaves her bottoms because he knows humans can be a little weird about their mating parts. And he cleans her
I'm
up.
a little weird about my top being taken off, but thank you. Listen, if we were in a different
used
book,
to
those would
Arachne.
also be mating tops, okay?
Yeah, he didn't even like think anything of it, you know. He didn't think anything of it. Little poop down. Nope, nothing. Yeah, so and then he uses
Titties out for the world to see.
Yeah,
Sorry.
didn't even like he wasn't even like, ooh, titties. No, nothing.
Well, you know what? We had enough of that.
So he uses his webs to spin her a new top, and then he holds her to keep her warm by the fire, and then she falls asleep, and he like cocoons her
Honestly, that actually sounds great.
and like almost like swaddles her to like.
Okay, but hear me out.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And I kind of want that.
But then he falls asleep, which is not like him, but he's still deteriorating with his body because he hasn't actually mated yet. 3 days go by, him traveling and stopping at places where he can clean and feed her, and he carries her in his little baby pouch harness that he's made the whole time to his
Bitch is
chest,
asleep for 3 days.
Like he's got his baby harness, and
It's like the Moby rap.
and that's how Sloane finds herself waking up screaming
After 3 days, girl.
Mhm.
Woof.
because she's all swaddled in the baby thing. Yep. And
Honestly,
she's scared, trying to get away.
I will say that if I got swaddled while I was like out and I didn't know
Unconscious.
about it, I would feel very, yeah, that's the word. I was going to say sleeping, but unconscious is the actual word because it's 3 days. I think that I too would wake up screaming because I would feel that like very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Like I would be cool with being swaddled if I knew it was happening for a brief period of time. And then I would be like, okay, let me out because like I can only do it for so long. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's Wow.
No.
So this bitch is freaking out. I mean, because
I mean,
naturally.
valid.
Until she sees his bag and lantern and sees the logos on them and asks if her father sent him. Nyanin is just speechless at her speaking to him. And he's just quiet and in awe for so long that she just assumes that he can't talk or understand her.
Honestly, I get it.
And he's basically like, this is where I am now. I made this hole. I'm here now. I don't know how to fix this because he's a fucking idiot. But that's what we
He's
know.
a man.
And Sloane's half wondering why it took her father so long just to send someone in and rescue her, and the other half bothered because he refused to pay her ransom twice. So that's cute.
Men.
And because she heard all the men arguing about it, and Nyanin holds out his hand and shows her the broken translator, and she realizes that's why he can't understand her and she can't understand him. And Sloane, who is half starved, half crazy, and a little bit of a jerk, is not very nice to Nine. Not at all. She's kind of really mean. And she wants him to get going
Yeah.
and like get the fuck out of there. And she tries to walk and she can't because her leg. And then he tries to carry her and she doesn't want that. And she really doesn't like spiders at all. So this is not great at all. And she's afraid that he's going to step on her because he's big and dumb and gross. And she says all this to him. And she actually like equates it to being like like a little yippy dog like underneath a horse hooves like boop, 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 boop. Yeah, except he's got 8 legs.
See, here's the thing. In that case, the little yippy dog deserves to get stepped on. You don't need to be a jerk.
Yeah.
He
She doesn't want
saved
to be
you.
carried. And
I
he even
do.
tries to like get down and like let her get on his back. And she don't want that either. But like those are the two options. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Get your shit
she
together.
decides the back because it's better than being carried in the front. And so he bends down to the floor, lets her get on, and that's how they travel. They have to go all kinds of crazy ways through tunnels. Like sometimes he has to go on the roof of the tunnel and sometimes the side. And he's like, choo, 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 and she's fucking, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and he wraps her up and stuff, but she doesn't want any of it. And he's big, fat, sad about all of this. This
Oh, you
is
haven't
his
said big fat
person.
sad in so long. Aw. Sorry. I know that's not the point.
But also, okay, this girl is fucking wild, I tell you, because she's against his back and it's like kind of like vibrating as he's like shifting around and moving. And, her legs are spread around him. And for some reason, she's been incredibly, strangely, unexplainably horny since, she woke up. And she finds herself ends up getting off on his back, like rubbing on, yeah, just he doesn't realize
Dry
though.
humping.
Yeah, because he thinks she's just injured, and I mean, she's leaking, and she really smells good, but he's more concerned about the fact that she's terrified of him. So super sad face. He's like
Oh,
super
baby,
sad.
you're not
Yeah.
helping the dumb.
Yeah, yeah. And on one of their stops, Sloane tries to go around the corner to pee, but also to jerk herself off again, while Nyanin is resting. And then she gets yanked by the ankle from some weird monster and screams. And obviously, Nine wakes up and rescues her. But this whole excursion exhausts him. And then they just sit there and eat the monster's brains. Sloane's not happy about this, but
I
is
wouldn't be
hungry
happy about
and
it
ends up
either.
conceding. But well, he knows that the body, the meat of this monster isn't actually safe for humans to eat. The brains are the only part.
I mean,
So,
at least I guess he is thinking about it. It's still gross.
yeah.
He is, so it's another thing of he is trying, and
Yeah.
we can
He tries
appreciate
so
that.
hard,
But he
but he
only
doesn't
got
get
so
far.
far. And in the end,
And
does it really truly even matter?
Sloane tries to communicate with him a bit, um, like beginning Ice Planet Barbarian style, like
Hmm.
this is me, this is you. And because he's just like chittering in his language and she doesn't understand it. And
Yeah.
she tries to learn his name and she almost gets it. And she just ends up psychobabbling to him because she doesn't think he can understand, because she can't understand him, because, that's her concept. And she just talks about how she's going crazy because on one level she's very, very terrified of him and scared of spiders and on and on. But on the other hand, she thinks that he's the one making her horny and want him. And she doesn't want that, of course. But weird times. The next creature that they happen upon in their travels is some like giant mouth dirt creature that Nyanin has to jump inside the giant mouth and kill it from the inside, which terrifies Sloane. And she just screams and screams and screams because like the guts and bloods are spraying everywhere. And he just tries to hold her and console her and ends up wrapping her, swaddles her like a baby, and carries her against his chest.
I love that his like instinct reaction is just swaddle her.
Yeah. And he's like clucks at her and like, chitters at her until she manages to like pass out from the exhaustion of screaming and crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the bloods, bloods. The blood and the guts spraying everywhere gave Sloane flashbacks of when she was singing on stage and she was getting kidnapped and watching the crowd and most of her friends get massacred as she tries not to get taken. She felt like her singing in her boredom as they moved in the caves with Nine not able to talk back almost summoned this bad thing, like her singing on stage. There was a massacre, and so she's like, she's not gonna sing anymore. She's all done. She thinks that's gonna be the problem. And when she wakes up completely encased in the webbing, she's like, nope, and she moves to his back instead. And now that she's awake and alert and not having a whole flashback meltdown, she just talks to Nine constantly for like 3 days, which is honestly a little confusing because it didn't take this many days for him to find her in the first place. Unless we were like just like
Mm.
vaguely fast forwarding the beginning or I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Which honestly, we did figure out um the reasoning a little later, but it's just in the
At
moment. I
this
was like,
point
yeah,
in time,
yeah.
yes, correct.
Many, many days of boredom, she finally gives in and starts to hum and then starts to sing a little to pass the time, which makes Nyanin happy because he likes it when she sings. And the other time, all she does is babble and insert things about how she wants to fuck him and doesn't understand why. And she definitely can't because he's just there because her father must have paid him, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, he's a spider
Mm.
and all this stuff. And
He's a spider.
Nyanin can tell that Sloane is starting to crack, especially being underground for so long. And so the next time he smells water, it's like a hot spring type of situation that even has
Mm.
gems and stuff all through the cave. He takes her there. And it's kind of cool. And he decides that she should be there to take a bath and recoup. And he even spins her a towel, which is kind of cool.
He is trying so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, super
We love
cute.
a man with action.
And she just gets to the point where she's just not afraid of him anymore. And even his spider legs aren't like grossing her out or scaring her. And all she can think is that she wants to fuck him. She's confused, but at this point, she's just delusional. And she just might roll with it because when he makes her that towel, she's just like, fuck.
Ariel when she's sick.
And he's just mesmerized by her floating in the water and isn't really focusing or paying attention when she asks him if he wants to be with her because she wants to be with him, which catches him off guard. And he visibly reacts
Yeah.
to the question, surprised, and she realizes that he can understand her. And he knows that he can, and she slaps him. But, his face is pretty hard, so it doesn't really work out that well for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking around at all the gems, Nine could easily make money off of these. So maybe him rescuing her isn't only about the money. And she just reaches up and pulls him down. So, like, she's kind of near him and she just licks him.
That was a really quick, I'm angry at you, what the fuck? Oh wait, actually just kidding, let me lick you.
Yeah. So she tells him she knows what he has hidden and she wants to see it. because one time when they were in the caves, she was mostly sleeping, but had woken up a little bit to see him off on the other side of the cage, stroking his two like appendages that are like part of his like leg system. Yeah, like I feel like we might need drawing. Um, and he lets them out because like what else is a silly boy to do? And she goes right to town, taking one in her mouth, and he pulls it out just in time to finish on the ground and not like slam her with his spunk. That was for you. It's for you. Um,
Fucking that was disgusting.
I know, I'm sorry with
Why?
his stuff.
I almost prefer spunk over that.
Okay.
Can't with you. Okay,
This is a
gross.
choose your own adventure. You can pick which one you want. Um, and then he just goes to the side of the wall and starts spinning a web as Sloane dries herself off with a towel. And once the web bed is done, he picks her up, puts her on it, so she sticks to it. And then he looks so confused for a second. So she shows him how to caress her breasts, and then he makes, with his webs, sort of clamps and connects them together so that he can just tug on them. So fun times. But then he goes and gets a lantern and spreads her legs so he can inspect her to figure out how the fuck this is going to work. And he just looks so like lost. And she just tells him to try his tongue first, so he knows everything will fit inside her. Because, she has two holes after all, so he can fit. It'll work. And so he spins a bunch of webs and trusses them both up to hang from the ceiling because that's the way to mate with his people. And that's what he does. He fucks her. He fucks her in both holes at the same time until they both finish. And he gets ready to do his last push to seal them together so that they may swing as the mating wraps up. And that doesn't happen. They both finished, but there was no lockup. And Sloane is not his mate. Will he truly have no one forever? Nine looks so confused and almost disappointed, and Sloane tries to reassure him that, they had the best time, and she asks if something else is supposed to happen. Because, like, was she supposed to eat him or something? Or was he supposed to eat her? Like, she likes to cuddle. Maybe they can just cuddle. And so he does. He just holds her. And then we do learn that he was taking his sweet time out of the caves so that he could be with her and, be with her. But now he's like, crap, if he's still dying, he needs to get her out of here. He feels like he's been selfish, like making it so that what if she doesn't get out in time? And Sloane sleeps for a bit and then uses him to get off again because she's not quite ready for a whole another round, but she's still horny and wants to rub herself on him. And then he has her bathe and redoes her cast and gets her all trussed up and sets off. She's concerned that he's moving at such a breakneck pace because she doesn't really have any place to be. Like, her friends are dead. Her dad's kind of a douche. They can take their time, but he is Russian. And she feels like maybe he's not feeling what she is. And 2 days later, after speeding this whole time through caves, they stop. And she's trying to get him to tell her what's wrong, and he just shakes his head and pulls out his satellite phone out of his backpack. Or whatever kind of phone. I assume it's a satellite phone, but what the fuck do I know? And then he hands it to her, and then he picks her up, hugs her, and then he places her and his backpack behind this like little boulder cavern. And then he snaps off half of one of his legs and hands it to her. And then he covers the crevice with her in it with webbing to like seal her in.
That's a choice.
I, I, ugh. So the truth is that Nine had scented humans following him, and his exhaustion has been growing. And he knew that this might be his only chance. He got Sloane close enough to the exit as fast as he could. so that Sloane can manage to get out on her own if she had to, and he wasn't able to take care of the men. And he lets her yell and scream because that's just going to draw them closer as he sets traps. Nine started picking the men off one by one, but obviously Sloane can hear what's going on, so she uses his leg to saw through the webbing because she doesn't want the men to hurt Nyanin. And this makes Nyanin go crazy, picking them off faster until one manages to hit him with a club, saying that their boss thought that Nine might still be alive and that this thing packs 200,000 volts. So he's on the ground. And one grabs Sloane, and she yells not to touch Nyanin because she'll make sure they don't get any ransom money. And the men laugh and say that a lot has changed since she was first taken. Her father has changed the orders, assuming that they're bringing back her corpse. She says she's worth more alive, and whatever they're being paid, her father will pay double if she's alive. And wouldn't it be a shame if only one of the men helped her and she only had to tell her father one of them needed the prize? And her manipulations work. And so one of the humans shoots another, and then chaos starts, and she's dropped. So she rushes to Nyanin, begging him to wake up. And then there's one last man standing by the end, and he's the one who has the club. And Nyanin, who is slowly starting to wake up and sit up, grabs the leg from Sloane, and he spears it at the man, taking him down before he falls back down again. And Sloane does not want him to die, obviously, but he mimics a phone gesture to Sloane and points to the exit. And she says, "Oh, to call for help?" "Yes." And she takes off. He fucking snaps his whole fucking leg so that she has a crutch to get fucking out. I just, he's like, he's got 7 more. I,
I mean, okay.
this was odd. And if I hadn't highlighted this, I would think I was delusional.
Here's the thing. Sometimes we read books and we think that we're delusional when we read them.
In my defense, I was slightly delusional while reading, so I thought maybe I was the problem.
This we're not always living in a Taylor Swift song where it's the problem, it's me. Sometimes the book itself is the problem.
Hey, God damn. Also, I want it to be known that Nyanin weighs 2 tons. That's how big this fucker is. Like, 2 tons. Like, do you know how big that is? That's fucking that
That's 2 tons.
that's 2 tons. Like, goddamn. Goddamn. Anywho, she takes off and gets out of the cave, calls for help, and it takes a half a day for the helicopter to come. Same one who dropped off Nyan in the first place, and the Minotaur, who's driving it, flying it, who's manning it, comes out to help her. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, I was Googling
Oh,
2 tons.
oh.
2 tons is approximately 4,000
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah.
Um,
It's a little over, I think, but yeah. Yeah.
for those mid-sized to large SUVs, a large rhinoceros, or a small elephant.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I needed to put the visual in my head of what a two
How
tons
big
would
that really
look
is.
like.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's over 4,000 pounds.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
The Minotaur manning the helicopter comes out to help her, but she wants to go get Nine. And he's like, did Nine say that's what he wanted? Like, did he specifically send her for that? And she explains that the translator's broken, and so he goes to get her one and comes back and hands it to her. And he says that she might want to go back and talk to Nine about everything, and he'll wait. She's pissed because, like, dude, Nine needs help. Like, let's go. But she takes the translator and heads in. She walks back in and finds webbing everywhere. She finds Nine and hands him the device so he can put it on. And she tells him there's a helicopter outside. There's room for him. They have to go. And he says, no, he's not leaving the caverns again. This is his home. And she's like, okay, they can make it work. He says, no, this is his final home. And she can't come with him. This is his death nest. And he's sorry, but apparently they were never meant to be. She says that that's bullshit. He says that she knows it's true. He's even heard her say it. And she says, well, only at first, but none of that had anything to do with him. It was her problem. And he says that he doesn't have long, that she should go. She says she doesn't have a home without him, and she loves him. This escalated fucking quickly. And she's not leaving him. So he holds her and she sings to him until he is slumped and still. And she just cries and lays with him throughout the night with his dead body, is what she's assuming. And she's woken up by the web that they're laying on cracking. And then worse, she sees Nine cracking in two. But then she hears him. And then she sees that it's just like this like thick sheet of skin coming off of him, and she's disgusted and freaked out, but weirdly wants to help and is confused. They all get the shell and skin and layer bits off of him, and he's confused. He's alive again, and he has 8 legs now. And she thought he was dead. He says he also thought he was dead, but that he's sorry. He worried her, and he doesn't understand it, but apparently he had been very good in this life to have earned being reborn anew. And I'm fucking confused by all of this.
Isn't that just like when snakes shed their skin? So
So
he
he
just
tries to say that he hasn't malted for about a decade, but even when he has, it's never been like that. He truly felt like he was dying. That clearly it's time for him to go.
it's true. It really truly is that whole man flu kind of thing where they think they're dying, but they're not. It's that, but
I
in
wish I had,
spider form.
I wish I had more of an explanation of this because truly, what else are we gonna think that like this is the man cold? Oh God.
The jokes write themselves.
See, we don't even have to be funny. It's just yeah, he tells her that he loves her and she will be his mate because Arachnia mate for life and she's it for him. But you were just so convinced that she wasn't because it didn't work. So where are we at? I don't even know. But she kisses him and then he brings her out of the cave and they get to the helicopter. The Minotaur is shocked. I've neglected to name this Minotaur because he was only here for the flashback from the other book. So I'm just calling him the Minotaur the whole time. So I'm sorry if that bothers you. The Minotaur is shocked, but they get all situated, and Sloane confesses that she's scared about going home and facing her father and just dealing with reality in general, but Nyanan assures her he'll be with her the whole time, and the Minotaur asks if they're mated now, and Sloane says yes, and Nyanan says no, and she's confused. He explains that there's a physical act that they're required to take. She asks if he's still in danger of dying without that being done, and he's like, well, she says that they need to do it now. He says he's not mating in public in a helicopter. The Minotaur says he won't look. Like, he doesn't want him to die either.
Honestly, here's the thing: he's better than me because I'd be like, I'll watch. I'm curious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially when they like described how, I don't know, weird. But anywho, there's 19 hours left to travel. It's like they can wait that long. It's okay. But she needs to rest and eat. When they land, they'll take care of business. But when they get there, they're greeted by the head of Sloane's father's security, the one who is in charge of keeping Sloane safe. And he's shocked to see that she's alive. And Nyanan realizes how she got kidnapped in the first place. And he wraps both Sloane and the Minotaur in webbing and fucking launches them off the building so they can just like hang there and just chill beans. Because they like landed with their helicopter on top of the building. So they're dangling from the side of the building. I'm assuming because, yeah. Because he needs to take care of this man. And the man who now realizes that Nyanan knows what's up asks how he managed to figure it out. And Nyanan says that once he was in the caves, he realized the footage that they were given in the first place of the men going in to rescue her was fake, and that none of Shuranak's men ever went to try to rescue Sloane. Shuranak's the head of the security dude that he's talking to. But I think I forgot his name for a little bit, and then now here it is. And the guy just shrugs and says, there's money, and then there's money. And Sloane, meanwhile, is asking the Minotaur dude for his phone. And he swings over to her and hands it to her. Like, Spider-Man. And she calls a number that she has memorized for a guy who runs a gossip tabloid. And she explains to him what's going on and asks him to get a helicopter there, stat. And that she will explain everything live. So he video calls her and hits the record while he's supposedly getting a helicopter on its way. And she explains who she is and what's going on, and that she knows that her dad told everyone she was resting, but she was kidnapped and held captive the whole time, and it's been almost a month, and her dad wouldn't pay her ransom, and everyone who knew that she had been kidnapped died. And she's showing everyone the scene that's going on with Nine and this dude fighting now, and explains how it's obvious that there's been an epic double cross, so that she needs to get this message out before her father's people try to cover things up more. And she's so upset for all the lives that were taken because of her, and she grieves for them, and she's sorry, and she's grateful for all her friends and her fans. And she explains that she fell in love with the man who saved her, and he's the one fighting the dude down there. And she's confused because there's still no helicopter, and the guy he called was like, well, helicopter fuel's expensive. And she's pissed because he obviously didn't believe her when she first told him what was going on, and just announces on the live to anyone in the city nearby to get down to this location stat and help her record so that everyone can be held accountable if she doesn't make it. And the Minotaur's confused because he thought she was just going to call 911. But then she makes a second call to her father. Nine is still fighting the dude when Sloane's father comes out. And honestly, it took me way too long to figure out that this was Sloane's father, and this, I don't even get it. And tells Diana to go to Sloane. And then the father takes the fucker down with a flamethrower? With a flamethrower. I don't even know. Now we're just in utter chaos, apparently. The father just comes out with a fucking backpack and a flamethrower. And he sets Shernak on fire. I don't know. Nine gets Sloane and the Minotaur down on the ground just in time for emergency services to come. And then her father comes down, and Nine tells him that his daughter was kidnapped by the team he trusted most. And tonight they would have caused her demise again had they known she was coming. And he had been the one to retrieve her. And he killed those who he met. And he will kill anyone else who harms her. She's his now. Father just narrows his eyes and says nothing. And Sloane turns to Nine and says to take her home now. They rush to his place, and then he realizes that all his like death nest webbing is still there, and he apologizes. And she says she don't care. She's gonna make it work. She just needs to be fucked. He hangs her from the ceiling so she's the right height for him to stick his tongue inside her again, and then he creates some more webbing, and they start fucking, and they really go at it. Sloane ends up squirting, and then Nyanin feels it. He feels the mating, and he finishes and she finishes, and then he feels himself sealing to her. They are mated now. So you're telling me it took this bitch squirting to fucking activate the mate hormones or whatever? I'm just, again, this might be a me problem, and this might be like a, what's that, when unreliable narrator going on over here. This might be my problem, but
No, weird choice.
again, that might have not been how it was as how I perceived it. I don't know. So yeah, they tell each other they love each
Maybe.
other, and then we have an epilogue 6 months later. It's Christmas time, and half of the epilogue is about the Minotaur dude, so I'm skipping that. And Sloane confesses that her dad reached out, and she met with him for lunch, and he wants to reconcile. And she thinks it's because he wants grandkids, but she doesn't even know if that's possible between the two of them, especially since she hasn't been on birth control this entire time. And Nyanin just asks if she wants that because he could use his sperm. And she's like, what the fuck? He could use his sperm? Like, what the fuck has been going inside of her? He's like, eh. It's similar, just doesn't have the genetic material in it. He assumed she'd say something if she wanted it. He's been collecting it in little sacks every month as needed because he's required to like expel it. And yeah. So they decide to fuck right then and there because he knew she was ovulating because he tasted it that morning. And so he uses both his dicks to DVP her, and they mate for the next several hours to hope for a baby, and that's the book. I'm skipping the part where the dad at lunch gave some kind of special magic potion to like baby stick her, but I'm just not. It's weird.
It's fine. It's fine.
So that is what we read. That is what we read.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
favorite?
Um, I guess Nyanin. He tried so
Yeah,
hard.
he really did. He was a little dumb, but I
He
mean,
was so
he's
fucking dumb.
uh,
So fucking dumb.
sounds good. At least,
So, uh, I mean, Sloane's dad, probably, but also kind of
hmm
Sloane.
yeah, she was really mean for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, girl, yeah,
Yeah.
great, love that. Yeah, so Amazon gives us a 4.3, Goodreads a 3.9, and Storygraph a 3.61.
What did you rate it?
Like a 2.5.
Um,
I don't know. I hovered between a 2.5 and a 3, but
I'm gonna rate it 3 stars.
okay.
I'm gonna rate it 3 stars. 3 stars.
This was like a really weird, wild trip of a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. How about peppers?
All right, listen.
There honestly was a lot though, like kind of like
Not really.
okay, I just meant like I like a good DVP. That's nice. I say that out loud.
Yeah,
Someone
okay,
who's never.
but my problem is it wasn't good. Like
Yeah. More.
I wanted it to um I wanted it to be more descriptive. It
Mm-hmm.
was more like factual. They spent more time explaining how they were doing up the webbing and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and which is fine. But
But
you
like in a book
then
like
it'd
this,
be
you
like,
want, yeah,
okay, and like it's just the way that it was worded was just not,
I got you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna set this to
I understand. Okay. It was not a one-handed read for me, and I would also survive just perfectly fine.
It was also a not a it was also a not it was also not a one-handed read for me, and I would also survive.
For the record, there are 15 books in this series. Not a single one is a Minotaur.
What?
Yeah. The first book is a golem, then a snake, then a spider, kraken, leshy, vodnik,
Then why do we have to
nightmare,
learn all about this dude's
reaper,
kids and all this
phantom,
shit?
Krampus, Yeti, AI, symbiote, steel seraph, and a clanker. That's
Maybe it was
it.
from a different series?
This is Layla Fe. Oh wait, hold on. They're done by different authors.
Oh. So
Oh.
maybe, yeah, maybe that.
It's by three different authors. We have Kara Wilde, Layla Faye, Cassie Alexander. We've read Layla Faye.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they're all done by, it looks like it's just a series done by three different authors. So interesting, interesting. Well, that was our March.
I mean, it was something. If we can get our shit together, April is for cum showers.
Come
Yeah.
showers bring Mayflower. April, come showers bring Mayflowers.
We'll see. We'll see if we can get our shit together. But in the meantime, while you wait for us to get our shit together, make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty.
So, like, okay, I'm gonna totally cut this, but like, so like the 1,000-pound Sizzlers, like 4 of them is the snack.
The funniest part for me was Sizzlers.
Sizzlers.
Let me tell you about Noya in the way. Let me sing a song about Noya in the way. Listen to the word that the lyrics from me set. I'm gonna tell you about the Noya in the way. That's where them on them every single day. Him not play. Oh, a man possess me, you say no way. 5'6" man, come from Japan. Work on the streets, yeah, he's a bad man. Stepping on the ring, fight can't last long. Him too strong, sit down and listen to me song. But it's a